I'm amazed that I have as much power as I do.
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all, we're here. It's episode 3 of the Great Disruptor podcast. Our next guest is a dope artist. And you know, everyone has that friend that raps, but this guy, you want to listen to his music. It's not just some friend things. First time I ever heard him rapping was over the Fugees' Ready or Not beat. So say less there. Super talented. He's got the shining. He's a recording artist. He's currently on tour. He's a dad. He's a believer and practitioner in positivity. All around great human being. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Lee in the building.
Yeah, what introduction.
So, bro, we were just talking about it. Yeah. You played in the BBL. You're a Buffalo Basketball League alumni. Mm-hmm. If I remember correctly, we played against each other in the very first Season 1 BBL championship. Is that right? Do you remember that?
Okay, no, I do remember. What color were you? Yellow squad?
I was red.
You were red?
I was red because I was red because of the 90s Bulls.
Wow.
What color were you?
So when I was in gray.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, it's gray, right? Yeah. That's wild.
I have to tell you, so that specific game, BBL Championship Season 1 Finals, red versus gray, went into overtime. We end up winning. I have to tell you that when I look back on like my life in basketball, there's different things, right? You look at like what was my best game, what was, my biggest win. That is the most fun I ever had in my life playing a basketball game. Was that specific game, that specific night. What memories do you have from that league?
Oh my God! Well, so I'm sitting here like just. First of all, I'm humbled, man. Like I'm like you always bring that sense of like like you put out you record like you are a good person. You know what I mean, at the end of the day, like to be a good person is like number one. But the fact that you're like bringing people together to play in tournaments and just like how you did it was so much fun. Like we literally sat down in the living room and had like you guys picked off a list. We were captains. You were like, okay, I'm gonna pick so and so all together like it's like a draft pick.
Yeah.
Like what? And everybody's in the living room together. Like
we did different styles, right? There was like the fantasy draft, which was probably the most fun, and then there was like book your own team, 5, 6, 7, 8 people. But yeah, the fantasy draft was a lot of fun.
We'll get t-shirts to throw in, we get it together, get you right what number you want.
T-shirts, pick your number, and then we had some. I don't know how many and what seasons you played, but at one point I had like the dry fit jersey, which was fire. Yeah. I still have mine upstairs. Man. Not saying it fits the same, but
that's classic, bro. You've been doing this, bro. That's the years of work.
We went 6, 7 seasons, and there was a season when we had 8 teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was super legit. I wish I think a lot about like restarting that. Mm-hmm. I just don't know. I think the talent pool would be a lot different. Like if I ran it in the gym here, I think it'd be all the kids that go to the school.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd be able to get up and down.
Coaching it might be able to coach. I might be able to be a good coach.
I might have to stick exclusively to my Adam Silver and just run it and not participate.
Right.
You ever win the championship in that league?
We did one.
I thought you did.
One. Yeah.
I remember when I ended it. It was 6 seasons, and at the last, I mentioned I had 8 teams, but the last season I had 6 teams. Because depending on the year, so summer would be the most crowded because everybody would be home and willing to play. But like during the school year, you had less teams. But final season, I had 6 teams, and the 6th team, the only team, every year a different team won a championship.
Right.
That 6th team, which was the only team who hadn't won, won that 6th season.
Wow.
And I was like, every team has won a championship, and it's starting to catch up to me, like chasing everybody's money and whatnot. So I was like, this is going to be the end point. This is going to be the end point right here.
Oh, man. The funnest, man, like we were kids, man. We had to play different courts too. Like we would actually. I was training. We was training together. Like every time you went to the park, like we roll up there. You know what I mean? And the one rims was small as hell. I go slamming them joints. I don't know what court that was.
The most fun you could have in a playground for me, probably for you, is when they had those dunkable rims.
Right.
Because some of them were crazy. Some of them would be like 8.5 feet, 9 feet.
Like you Kobe out there floating like you was like
coming through like cocks, bro.
That's like a 9-1 like it's not even like
right man. We played a lot of playground basketball. I think I was like the freaking Benny the Jet or the Scotty Smalls to the liquor courts, right? Like that was my home court, but But we played at Vagola. I think we played at Nob Hill.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with those names?
I have to be. No, for sure.
So Vagola, speaking of that, I remember they had the lowest rim, the far end.
Yeah, that's had to be that.
I'll come to the lane two-handed.
That's the one.
Playing against,
because you park. It was like a parking lot. The parking lot was right there.
Yeah,
and it was like a fence. There wasn't there a highway or something like that. Highway
right behind it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The 33 right behind it.
Man, that was the lit part. I remember I was that's what we really used to know. I learned the game good at that part.
And out there, you'd have a few talented guys, but then you'd have like kids just trying to get a run in.
You want to dunk on?
Had no idea what I was coming through that lane for blood, bro. I'm trying to make a poster out of your 12-year-old son.
That was hilarious. You gonna think twice about it.
Oh man, it's too bad. Like the cell phones weren't as prominent as they are now, but. I would have had some highlight reels.
We played together though, like we really like played for fun. So we would play together, like we would pitch each other the ball. You knew each other's games, so like that man could hit that little corner one pop
that
three.
Chemistry,
chemistry, right? And saying like that's like
What's what would you say is your favorite playground to play at, or was anyway?
That was one. That was definitely one, man. That was definitely one. Another one was maybe in Plattsburgh. My grandma she had a joint out there where it was like in the summer we used to go there every summer, and there's like a big ass barn, and it was cool because there was the court was kind of like on a hillside and the rims were big, and maybe I was a kid so everything was so big and massive, like it was hard to hit like
perception.
So but beyond that point it was just like that was cool because I got to see my brother play, different kids play. It was just mad fun, like it was it's just like and what the game does, man, it's like. Basketball in itself was is good. And the fact that we got to live in an era of like we were outside like every day, just having fun, man. That was what we spent our time into. Now it's like it's a wild world, man. Digitalized, but you got to still stay with the times, though. You know what I mean? He's still got to be right there with it, because
So we were outside, and the era was a lot. It was cool for basketball. Like it was Kobe, Vince Carter, Shaq.
Right.
Man, I remember having like their posters on my wall.
Right.
Seems like sus now thinking back on it, but I had like Kobe sprawled out like this and on my wall, like right next to my bed, bro. Right next to my bed.
Oh, he was a true fan.
Had the Vinsanity poster, Eddie George from the Titans poster.
Eddie George, that's fire,
man, just waking up surrounded by big, strong black men everywhere. But yeah, man,
that is hilarious.
The perception is a wild thing when you look at it, like from then to now. Because like I'll go to the liquor courts, like once every like 5 years just to get a shot up and reminisce. But it's like I look up at the rim. It's like, yo, I used to fly through here and throw down hammers on this thing. God, like I wonder if I can even touch this thing at this point. Like it's changed so much.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
But yeah, man, I remember.
That's so dope.
Summer break, my mom would be at work. I'd be home sleeping by myself. And Shikto would pull up on the bike. He'd come right inside and wake me up. And we'd go to the playground. We'd stay there all day, bro.
God.
Like we'd wedge the ball in between the framing of the bike, stick it in there so you don't have to carry it. Like fit perfect, like it was built for it.
Yeah.
And we'd ride to the liquor courts, and if no one was there, we'd put some shots up. Then we'd ride our bikes to Vagola.
Yeah.
We'd play a run there. Then we'd ride our bikes to Nob Hill.
Yeah.
Like we would
shout out to Shikto, man. Shout out to Shikto.
Wherever he is in this world, I don't know,
but shout out to him, bro, because he brought a lot together too. Like he was if he was down to play, like he was like, he would show up and play his little part, because he had certain games at a certain time. He's a finesse with it as a point guard. People couldn't like understand how he would feel. Like he would just hit you with it, and he would go through like the
bro.
He was to be like that. Like in his game was cool. It was fun to play with because you could talk to him and he would listen.
Yeah.
He would be like, if I'm underneath, he'll be like, he'll just really pay. He's just that type of dude. But he's a team player.
Yeah,
team player, bro. Team player.
I remember the first. So he was like our playground legend for a time frame of my life. When we got older and bigger, the dynamic changed a little bit. But when we were like 7th grade to like 9th, 10th grade, he was like notorious for being unbeaten in one-on-one. Like seriously, we'd all try our hand. We could never beat him. And then I remember the first time I ever beat him, it must have been like something got unlocked in my mind. My mom got me my first pair of Jordans I ever had in my life. And they were for the basketball season, and I couldn't wear them outside till the basketball season was over, right? Like, you don't want to ruin them. So the first time I ever wore them outside, I played him one-on-one, and I beat him. I was like, yo, these J's unlocked, like, just, they give me new ability points, like a video game, But
that Space Jam mentality of things.
I also remember the first time I grabbed the rim. Like, I had just watched Space Jam, and I was so inspired to go try the jam. So I went up to the park by myself, and I was just taking off full court, a half-court sprint to jump up and try to touch it. I finally touched it one time. Bro, I went home, and I hopped on the landline. I was calling everybody. I just touched rim. I just touched rim. And some of them wouldn't even believe it. Like, it was some absurd feat. Like, no, you did not. No, you didn't. Like, yo, meet me there now. I'll show you. I did. Wild, bro. But great core memories.
Shout out to us, bro. That's we still, what I mean? Still kick it, bro.
Yeah, man. Did you play high school ball?
Yeah.
So you went to Cleveville and Clarence, is that right?
Yeah, Cleveville and Clarence and JFK. I played.
You were traveling. Yeah. You were getting highly recruited. They were pulling you to each one.
It was weird. I was recruited, so I was in a special class. That's how I was being recruited.
So what? You played all the levels?
I played modified, JV, and varsity. Yeah. I started in 7th grade. That's when I first played basketball. 7th grade.
Yeah, I didn't start till 8th grade.
Yeah,
I was playing hockey. Because I'm from Canada, my whole family played hockey. They're all goalies.
That's crazy.
And then I got to Buffalo, and all my friends in friend circle were basketball players. And I was like, I didn't even have friends or know anyone playing hockey. So I was tall, right? So I just switched to basketball.
That is hilarious.
And I was very Shaq-esque. Like, I had zero. I say Shaq as loosely. I don't mean I was dominant like Shaq. I mean I could not shoot the ball for my life. Like free throws, I'd be under 50%. But I could just rebound and block shots, right? So I get picked because I had to.
But you was a good team player though. That's
Don't get me wrong. Over time, I developed. I never became a good shooter by any means, but over time, you pick up other stuff you can do, like get to the basket and whatnot. But your game, you start hitting them underneath layups, that's your spots at. Because you gotta fall you get to your spot first. You can't force the game, patience. Somebody's gotta come. It takes a mental too, to be really, but you gotta train for it too. Because when you're, and then I'm why not start when I'm loosely playing 21 with these kids? Why not try to use my left hand more? Yeah.
If I've done that more often, you start using your other hands and you start that's when you really challenge yourself to, my dad said that to me. He's like, that's like that. He's like, I remember this. He told me the story. He's always told me the story about how is this one guy that just. They were laughable at the park, right?
Sure.
And his summer he took off and he just worked at his game. But my dad said he saw him every day, like this guy was dribbling, he's outside, I saw him running, he's doing this and then I'm seeing him all over, but but he's that summer he came back and he was yamming on his heads. He's it was an Air Force base, it's just so the other niggas was going crazy.
Yeah.
But just stuff like that. I'm hearing these stories. I'm man, that's it's cool that we got the I love life is good, man.
That's awesome what I mean. Man. So where were you for your varsity years? What school were you at?
Clarence. Shout out to Clarence.
11th and 12th grade?
So I was in Clarence 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Got you.
Yep.
And how was your team? Because I don't think we ever played each other.
We were good in JV.
Different divisions.
Yeah, we were good. So we were some better than some of the years because we had. I've always heard them being under 500. That was always a normal thing. Under 500. So every time we played, we were over 500. So that was a good thing. When I was in JV, I think we were probably maybe 12-9 or something. Maybe that. But that record. And then when we were in varsity, we probably probably I felt I don't know 13 and 8 or maybe 12-8 or something like that.
Inching forward, one win at a time.
Yeah, it was cool. That was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, and just it was really it was a different experience. So they were on a different level because in the sense of even how they practice, it was more structured and all about plays.
Sure.
And sometimes you gotta see we're so in their city. It's you kind of had the experience to be able to be free for a second. If you're getting hot, you got to take over. And you got to allow that player to play that game. But at the end of the day, they're also giving me different types of coaching though. It's more you're.
Were you one of their top guys?
I was, I was.
Yeah.
I was when I was a senior.
Right.
Junior, I I didn't play. I don't think I played much.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Junior, I didn't play much. Like, it's the talent.
It's weird. Like
yeah.
someone could be like a star at the playground or like in the
Yeah.
open runs, but like but like you're saying, because I had a similar experience.
Yeah.
And also like they made like I didn't want to play it, but like they had me playing the 5.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
like, we had like a 6'4", a 6'4", and it's like like you know what I mean? Like
right.
so it's hard to get minutes like
Yeah.
when like this spot they're looking to fill, is heavily dictated by size.
Size, yeah.
Yeah, but like just the difference between playing indoors, outdoors, and like
Right,
Dustmacker
right.
basketball and like high school basketball, and especially like how you're explaining, like you got a team that's 500 and then tends to stay there. Like, yeah, that's going to be built around strategy and not like go to him and let him score. Like my high school claim to fame though, Cleve Hill. I got a double in 1 quarter. Now, don't get me wrong. We beat them by like 40. They were like notoriously uncompetitive with us.
Oh.
But I went in the quarter. And I put up 10 and 10 in 1 quarter in 8 minutes, bro. In 8 minutes, 10 and 10. And then I was so pumped. And then the next day at practice, coach, like, oh, shout out to Paulie Athoe. He had 10 points and 9 rebounds in 1 quarter. I was so hot, bro.
Hilarious.
I was like 9 rebounds. I was counting them. I was like, I had 10. So I had 10. And he's like, well, we got you for 9. And like, so that's what it is, dude. I was low key mad, man, because that was like a defining stats. Like 10 and 10 in 8 minutes.
Dude,
and they only gave me 10 and 9, bro. They gave me 10 and 9. Like, even then, like, even if I had 9, you couldn't just bless me with one.
Oh, bro. Right. Like, yo, my man got double.
Yeah. But yeah, man, like good core memories, man, playing ball as a kid.
Man, bro.
Yeah.
We can talk about that forever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just based off the, being out here, you know what I mean? So
you got
Gives you
you got
chills.
kids now. You got 1 or more?
I got two daughters.
2 daughters, bro.
Yeah.
How did becoming a father change you?
Man, so I look at the camera more.
Look wherever you want, but you can talk.
Yeah, so having 2 daughters, man, is man, it puts things in perspective, man. In a sense of just like being your best self, like number one, man, like I have to really focus on my mental, because this is like stay prayed up, man, like stay prayed up, give positive to the world, make sure your heart is good, man, make sure you you're planting the right seeds in life, like all that consistently. Real leaders do that every day, and that's how you got to continue to be. That's something that's why I think I'm grateful that I've always had a village of people around me that I can trust, and to make sure that you can't ever lose if that's what you're fighting for. At the end of the day, you will never lose. And so now it's like, in a sense of being, just continue to just stay and learn from everything that you've already kind of plant seed, because I had to be, in the sense of like mental state too. If you have, pat yourself on the back, man. Every time you do something, like, we learn this stuff, man. I learned this. That's what I'm saying. We talk about basketball and how just that exchange, man. I remember people used to tell me straight up, bro, you gotta change your. People had to tell me, yo, you have to change your. I had to learn to not get so frustrated. Like, sometimes, like I'm like, yo, like that's not gonna do nothing for nobody. And I know better than that, because I've seen people thrive better in that situation. When you have fun with the game, that's like just like music. You gotta have fun, man. It has to be something that feels good to you. It's like release, like, and that was always a good release. And you learn each other's behavior. You're supposed to be out there, but real person would tell you straight up, like you being low, you got low, like you be on my fucking nerves, or you calling talking shit. I was talking mad. So what the hell, man? I was talking mad.
That was my whole game, man. I was in my Ron Artest bag or something.
Yeah, but then I had Snap, bro. I had Snap actually when I was in Clarence playing out there, and I was like, and it was funny because even with that, when I was on like when I went to Rochester and I left Buffalo, and in my experience there, I was in the gym, I was doing different things, like I was actually working out, like and I was around it. It was just more accessible too in college. Like when I found out about leagues, I was on it. Like oh, my man was going to the gym, let's go. Like I was just like, it was consistent. And even though I was eating poor, like ramen noodle, I was eating good for the first year, but after the second year, I was eating ramen noodles. I was sweating in class. I was like, this is like, what the hell is going on? Like this is horrible. Like I had the potato mix, like the little powdered potato mix.
Sure.
And I had maybe like one more ramen. and I had some peanut butter or something. That was it. And I was
Yeah.
like, my man came through. He's like, "Yo, bro, like, what's going on? This thing was confused."
Dog, it's expensive to
Yeah,
eat, bro.
yeah.
Even when you're a kid, man. When you're a
right,
kid,
right.
it's the last thing you want to spend your money on.
on.
Is health food. Dude, when
Yeah.
my diet, like I ran cross country in the fall, basketball, and then track in the spring, and it's like the things I used to be able to do in comparison to how I was eating. Like I was drinking zero water,
Right.
zero.
Right.
I come home from school and I'd fucking have, a half of a 2 liter of soda, go to bed, wonder why I can't sleep, and then get up and do the same thing the next day. Eating the cafeteria's, gritty little taco twins.
Oh my god, it was a bust no.
Bro, they had me drinking a quarter of chocolate milk with 2 hot tacos.
Right. Some tater tots. Tater tots.
This is maniacal. This is some milk and pizza. Bro, what?
Yo, that's the
What
pizza
inside this?
joints, bro. Oh my god, bro. It depends on what school you went to, too. 'Cause I went to McKinley, and they had the pizza. They had the pizza joints in the bags. They had a plastic bag, like, and them joints was actually mad good because the dough and the cheese and sauce was just like perfectly blended. There's some of them joints that, they have a picture of it. It's like of course it's a black one with a thing on, like whatever, big ass pan of pieces, and it's like chopped up in perfect like rectangles. I'm like, I remember that pizza. It was like that shit was actually like perfectly cooked on the bottom. You know what I mean? It had a couple of pieces of sausages on it. It was great. You know what I mean? But that milk shit though was also not really good. I'm not with the milk, bro.
Why was it milk with everything?
Dang,
No
bro.
matter
Chocolate
what you
milk,
had.
strawberry. Had this chocolate, not strawberry.
Yeah, we never had strawberry. Yeah, that's high end. We never had the strawberry.
It's all different, man.
Man.
You talk about Buffalo upstate. It's like 5 miles down the road. It's so different from like the whole culture is different.
I was 6'2", 165 at the time. Running 10 miles a day, and they're giving me a quarter of milk. So I got 6 hours in class, 2 hours of practice, and you're giving me a quart of milk.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
What do you want me to do with this?
That is hilarious, bro. It's wild how things change. Like that's why it's like cool to like we are the attachment level of things, like to adapt to things. It's like I'm grateful because even I remember my grandma said this before. She said like something like, we used to be able to drink from the tap water. Yeah, that was like some time ago. Things have changed.
Right.
Pipe is different. Like, what you think
that
this
pipe
is?
has not swapped out since you drank from it.
Yeah, that was the first time they was making them. Like
it was new at the time.
Dude, it's like, this is a whole different game right now. I'm not drinking from none of that shit. Like, it don't look right. Why was it yellow when it came out? Like, it was orange and brown. I didn't know I had to rinse it out like that. Just dive right in. Like,
man.
So it's like, always now you think about like what you consume every day, like every little and every bit and every level of everyday life, and just like staying true to yourself. So it's like it's really cool.
You mentioned it takes a village to raise your kid up. It definitely does, but I've found, and tell me where you stand on this. Like I've found, the older and more wise to the shit I get, it's like the less people or of their influence you want around your kid. Have you found that at all?
Yes.
Like this person, like it's cool that they're like think like whatever, like do you, but like I don't want that
100%.
being impacting my seeds. You ever felt like that?
100%.
Yeah. How you deal with that? It can be awkward, right? If it's like a family member.
Yeah. No, I think naturally, you just peace of mind, man. Like don't run away from like your peace, man. Like you got to be like I don't know, man. It's just like you are the company you keep. So like, but sometimes I'm in a space right now where I'm actually like rediscovering a lot of myself, which I'm gonna like trust the process of that, because it's like it's good, man. It's nothing that negative that comes out of that, like and just sometimes but you got to cut a lot of things off, man. If you want to sharpen up, you gotta sharpen up yourself, and people that really care for you, they would understand. The ones that don't, like that are selfish, you'll see them just, and that's okay. Like, stop. People don't think you don't gotta attach yourself to that relationship if it's not meant at that time, especially if it's not helping fill your cup up at any type of level, because it's just like that. We can't keep always being that. We're accessible because we are empaths. So we're gonna be accessible, but now you're less accessible in a different way because because you have to be that way. You have people to protect, and at the end of the day, and it's not gonna be just come on. Like, it's not gonna be that way. It can't be that way. But in the sense of like also like not living in fear, as well, and being true to yourself in your art and your craftsmanship, and also like what you're doing, bro, like studying, you can do so much from just music, alone, and just what that does, so like but I don't know, but we're definitely just like centerpieces to a lot of the bridge. Accept your role. Like when you start accepting that part too, you're gonna everything's gonna work itself out. But it takes work, bro. Like too, this isn't like
it's never ending. It's like the more you learn and the better you get, the more aware you become of how little you know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Fact.
So what's your favorite thing you do with your girls?
The favorite thing, my most favorite thing, I like to go in the backyard and like just like to run around, like just go be silly. You know what I mean? Just like crack home runs, poke them in the back of their, push them down, like, there we go, you know what I mean? Like, do all types, just run wild with them. Like, that's the time for them to be a kid. They're always going to be kids, but it's like I'm also still a child at heart. Like, I like sometimes don't lose track of that, like, because we are really just like that. And that's the type of experience that they will never forget. So, like, run with them. Like, if they're running in the like, they, and as a kid, everything is massive to them. You're like a giant to them, in their eyes. So, like, like make it a fun experience, and she'll like care for them and then sit down in it together. You know what I mean? Like ground yourself and stuff like that. The experience of it has been like such a like it gives you something to work hard for every day. It's like, so that's why I'm just grateful. Like, at the end of the day, I'm just truly grateful. Like, and if I'm a good leader by them, and I'm taking action in my life, I know this is going to impact myself 3 more, 5 more times more every step of the way, though. We can't be so hard on ourselves. We're not always going to get it right. So we strive. We can't be perfect. In that time of my life, I feel like you had to be perfect. That's why you would like start, yelling at people instead of being chill. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but that's okay though. Like that's, we're evolving. That's just, we can't, and anyway, the mental state is huge though, right? You talk about the basketball game too. 80% of the game. Yeah. We talked about that because you knew basketball, bro. I remember just hearing you and you were a centerpiece, bro. Like I'm like, this guy's like, you know what I mean? Though for real though, bro, it's beyond the game, bro. Yeah. Like, you were always on that wave.
When you want to, I mean, when I wanted to win, like I know we're talking about fun and this and that, but for me it was like, up until I was 15 years old, you asked me what I want to do. I was sure that I was just going to go to the NBA despite not playing in high school. But so when I was like, if I can't get there, I'm just going to create, my own, and the BBL became my NBA.
That was so sweet.
But it was, you're right, man. It was, like I'd be leaving there and I would be, group text with the team. Yeah. I'd be like, yo, we got to do this and that better. Right.
But it was lit when mad people had this shirts for mad long. Yeah. I had this shirt for the longest. Like I think I had that jump for at least 10. I feel like 10 years. A couple, you know what I mean? I probably could dig one up. Like it probably would.
The sleeves would be off.
The sleeves would probably be off.
Yeah. Mine are too. Yeah.
But I don't know what's gonna be there.
Yeah.
But that was in itself gave a brand, a name. It gave identity to like people. Like, that people really don't like, what I mean? It's people that might not have much, but that was their whatever they had going on in their life.
It got you a run too, right? For people that are just going to work and coming home, it got you some cardio.
It got you away from everyday. Yeah. It's a sense of freedom as well, bro. That's what we took it, you know what I mean? So
when you talk about playing with your kids, like you gotta, for me, and it sounds like you feel the same way. It's like you gotta let your ego down.
Yeah.
You think like. I guess it'll speak to me specifically. Like, it's like I gotta let go. I'm running around the yard and shit, and there's cars driving by, and you're being goofy. And it's like, you kind of like, I'm supposed to be this. If you listen to my songs and look at what I'm doing, they don't match right now. You know what I mean? But you definitely gotta, let the ego down because you are, like you said, creating their core memories and experiences and. Yeah, bro.
And it's good to be your best self, man. Like no matter what, man. Just like that's the beauty in it. You don't want to be content, comfortable, like anyway, like complacent and just like it's not selfish as much because you think about them. Like that's the response of it. Is this gonna help build this? Like because that's how you gotta cut things off in every way. Like we talk about people, we talk about situations, we talk about how whatever it is. Like maybe the exchange of maybe something you always wanted as a kid that you maybe didn't get, but then you give them that. Because that was something that what I mean. But that's the way you gotta. If you move that way, yo, bro, like you've done your job. Like so don't stress, no worry. And that's the and then just create those memories, man. Because and to look at positive, and you can't control things. So sometimes as men, we feel like, yo, I'm gonna control this, that. And you're like, I'm doing this and that. And like God be sitting my ass down every day. Like you just sit your ass down. Like for real, God is good.
I think the more. I can tell you feel the same way just by, knowing you and seeing, your social media feeds, listening to you talk. But it's like the more I guess, time that passes and having a kid of my own, it like opened my eyes to like I can never understand how somebody could be detached from their kid or not be the best they can be. You know, because everybody knows, you know, people or have even lived through their own situations where they've seen that firsthand. It's like, yeah, having my own, like, one of the biggest outbursts it was to me is like, yo, wait a minute. If I feel this way about her, like, I don't understand someone who doesn't feel that way about their own kid. So, yeah, I guess that was just a big eye-opening piece for me. You want more kids, or you set where you are?
Oh yeah, I would like one. It's the circumstances. I don't know. Like, not like, I'm just saying in general. Like, I really want another. You know, I don't know. I would like one, but I don't know. You know, I'm like I'm happy. You know what I mean? I'm really really happy. So it's like I'm in it's a good space. You know, so I'm not saying no or yay. You know what I mean? But like I'm just great. You know, like, it's cool. I see for example, my brother. He has six. My younger brother. Yeah. Because you don't hear that often. You know, like. I love, man. He like his family, like they're solid, man. Like, and that's what it's about. Like, and just man, it's so funny too, because he switched his diet to vegan, and like years ago, like, and I'm gonna share. This is funny because I love it. Like, you gotta, embrace the good things about life. You know what I mean? Like, every little thing is great, man. Especially when you like around family and stuff, and that's the important thing. You know, like, and they'll tell you that, because it's always heartfelt. Like, it's always real. Like, because they always, people that really love you, they have your best interest. You know, so it's always like, but like anyways, but like Well, anyways, what happened was he said, I forgot what I was talking about. My brother,
vegan diet.
Yeah, I forgot what was it called?
You're talking about he had 6 kids.
Right. He's a good father, man. It's but like I forgot what I was talking about, bro.
No, the biggest argument I hear, and I've heard the counterpoint. I'll get there, about the vegan diet is like, how do you maintain a muscular frame or get big? And then I heard a counterpoint once, and it's like, the elephant only eats plants. The rhino only eats plants. Some of the biggest, the gorilla. It's like,
snatching trees up the sky.
Right. It's like, so the biggest, strongest, like, just most fucking cock diesel things on the earth are just out here eating the leaf. So if it works for them, I think it could work for humans, right?
See, that's what I'm saying. So to bring it back is my, that was a stoner moment, but it's okay. It is okay. But So I remember when I walked in the kitchen, my stepson, he was, son was in the kitchen, and he was doing dishes, and he and the kids were sitting, his 2 oldest, which is VJ and Sino, they were sitting Indian style and watched them doing dishes. I'm like, these kids is different, like. They just sitting there Indian style, like, talking, having a whole conversation with me, looking at,
that's impressive.
And these other kids is running wild, like, banging their hands off the wall. I'm like, yo, what the hell is going on? Like, eating crazy sugar, like, eating sugar to cracked up, like, just busting out the, like, I'm like, this is weird, like, why, like, so we gotta put 2 and 2 together, bro, like, you know what I mean, and that's what it is too, because that's what I'm saying. I think that's also what you talk about, like, is what we feeding, and into in every situation 100%. To like not go into with ego, like, and Uber rides at that. When I was doing like Matt, when I was like I don't do it anymore, but when I was doing them joints, I was like, I had like some really good conversations with people. Like, one conversation that hit me, and it was like, it really sunk with me, was this guy was like, yo, he's like he wasn't from Buffalo. You can tell, like, he was whatever, but like, and he's like, oh, so he kind of had these kind of questions. So where you from, Marcus? Like, like, sonning me, So I'm like, okay, I'm being son, so they I think I'm doing a son or something, they're sonning me, like. He said, so I was like, but we had such a conversation. I was in the box with him. I started talking about, I was on a little bus. I started talking. I was laughing and all. I was laughing. There was some jokes. It was just fun, like. And then we came back. It came back before we left. He's like, Marcus, did you ever think that, he didn't say much of anything. He's like, Marcus, did you ever think, do you think it was your diet, like, as a kid? Do you think, that affected your behavior? And, and I'm like, I was like, I'm pretty good. I'm like, no, I'm pretty good. And I'm like thinking, like, and he's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. And it was like, cool. And then he left. And then I was like thinking, I'm like, did I eat good? Like, I was eating bacon and shit. Fucking, like, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. Whatever. I'm not saying all that. But that's, you can have some things. You can have, like, like, in moderation.
Yeah.
See, nowadays it's all like, everything is over the top. You see, like, extra larges, like, off the, like, here you go, like,
supersize everything, right?
Like, we've been through cool eras, man. You know, and it's like I'm just grateful, man. It's like, you know, and to continue to, you know, we're still here making positive changes in our seeds, man, and to show them that anything is possible. You know, like they really look up to us in a way of like that we are like people that bring people together, and they see that, you know, and that's why everything you do is within character, integrity. That's the work, man. That's why we work the way we work, and that's why we don't stop, you know. And we are here for each other. A brother's keeper is real, you know, like and I feed off the energy, you know, a lot when it comes to that because I want to be a better person every day, you know, and I want to live within my truth, you know. So I like that you are a person that always been that way. And actually, you know, like sitting here again, I'm always humbled because I'm like, dude, like you really open up the gates to so many different things and what made like more sense in my life. You know what I mean? Incredible. Like, but you did that for like a lot of people, like, you know, like in a body of neighborhoods, like, you know, that would not naturally come together.
I think there should always be, no matter where you are, there's always going to be someone above you. Yeah. And you know, you extend your hand and pull somebody up, and in turn, you hope that wherever you're trying to get to, somebody else is there with the hand up.
And that's natural. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's what we need, right? That's what everybody needs. And yeah, man, that's cool, man. So we're sitting here with Mark Lee. You hear the good vibes, the stories. Yeah. What are your earliest memories of actively participating in hip hop? And I'm not talking about your first official release. I'm not talking about your first show. I'm talking about your first DIY experience. Like for me, I remember being in high school. I would download instrumentals off LimeWire or whatever it was at the time, whatever we were using, like a Dipset beat, right? You just search it like Dipset beat.
Everything came up on that joint. That was new. I was like,
yeah, man. You'd give your computer AIDS in exchange for some free music.
Right, man. Movies.
And then, so I would download this instrumental. I'd play the beat. And then while the beat was playing out of the computer speakers, I'd use, you know how they had like the accessory audio recorder? You just record like a note or whatever.
Right.
But I would play the beat and then I would rap over the beat and have it recording to make my, you know, to make my record. But then I would burn it to a CD. And then I'd bring it to the high school basketball locker room and I'd be playing it for the guys before our game or our practice or whatever. So like those are my earliest, like I think I can do this somehow. What's your earliest memories with hip hop?
Oh man, well, man, earliest memories in hip hop, man, was just I had an older brother that always used to introduce me to some cool music. You know what I mean? Like that's when I heard the Dipset album, and you know, like
you were a Dipset guy too.
Yeah, I love the Dipset. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
bro. Like, everybody, you know, and it was crazy how cool Buffalo was like lit. Like when the summertime hit, the album was being played in everybody's fucking speakers. Like everything was like lit. Like that was a new track. Because that was a whole season's worth.
Me and my boys, we would pick who we are, like super corny. But I'd be like, yo, I'm Cam. You're Jewels. You know, you're Jim Jones. Whatever, bro.
That's when you got moved with it, though.
Yeah.
No, it's hilarious, man. Good stuff, man.
Yeah, man. So I remember you messaging me on Facebook, asking me about like the game, so to speak. If I had to timestamp it, I would assume it was like 2013, 2014, because I had some music out and distributed, but you hadn't gotten started yet. And you messaged me, you asked me about recording, asked me about performing, like about the local rap scene. You remember that?
Yep.
Yeah. So then you start making your own music. I'd say you make more conscious music than most. And I think hip-hop of all genres historically tends to have a deeper pocket of conscious artists and conscious music, more so than any other genre. Do you think or feel like there's an intentional dumbing down of that style of music in hip-hop?
Yeah, I mean, it is because, you know, it is for multiple reasons. I feel like, you know, before when you got an album, now it's like so diluted. Everything is just out. Like you can find anything you want, right? It's like it isn't. So like you lose a little substance. I feel like sometimes, you know.
Yeah,
and then, you know, it's just diluted a little bit for me, you know. But I would say that I just, you know, it's like it depends too, you know. It's what you also listen to, you know, like what you allow yourself to, like, you know, like I don't know, man, just like I'm learning that side now, like, you know, just and then the positivity in that because you know, like for example, Dipset, that was like you know, like that was some like that got us motivated. I mean, I don't care what nobody says. In Buffalo, we were dark and 4:30 lights out for 8 months. That shit is depressing, bro.
Yeah.
That's already a whole different. We got a whole
bro.
different beast going on right now. So, but that's okay though because when the summer hits, we whipping it out. Like
It makes it all the more celebration because it's like you
Yep.
struggled for this long. Now we're gonna give you this little
Minute
window
of time to get it. We used to get it
Yeah.
though, bro. To summers of basketball, to to listen to Don't Diss That on in the gym, wherever we at,
Yeah.
and just going to a party like feeling like that, like you know what I mean. We gonna be like this. You just said like being Cameron, well, people was on that like everybody like the fashion, like even at one point we were how people were wearing the bag,
Oh, for
bag,
sure.
everything was like
changed to 360
Right,
degrees
right.
or 180
Yeah.
degrees, however you say it.
and this
But
it comes back around again.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
all
right.
that stuff was.
It will come back. But
hip-hop,
yeah, man,
man.
it feels like it does feel like the Conscience records, albums, artists don't get the same notoriety or mainstream play as the ignorant shit.
Mm-hmm.
I think hip hop could benefit, and I think they just celebrated 50 years of hip hop, right?
Yeah, even though it's probably been more.
So I think like hip hop needs to get to a place, and I don't know who's the gatekeeper to do this, but when you look at something like rock and roll, you have classic rock, you got adult contemporary rock, you got alternative rock. Hip hop, like it's got its breakdowns. Like you and I could play something and be like, oh, that's trap, or that's East Coast. Like we'd be able to tell, but does it like? I think the breakdown and the classification of it further into these categories could be really beneficial. Instead of just putting it all
Blend
together,
one-
because
yeah.
Common isn't the same. It's like they're categorized
Right.
the same, but is Common the same type of music as Young Thug? No, they're absolutely not. And I'm not saying one's better than the other. I'm not saying this and that, but it's
Be in their
like
own category. Like, yeah, 'cause
if you're playing them side by
Right.
side and saying this is rap, it's like
Yeah.
well, those are two. Those are 180-degree different
Right.
records. So it's like, I think it could,
every 3 months they could even do a cycle where it's like every 3 months is like, okay, if it's a gospel category, gospel, like right, then in the next 3 months it could be R&B and soul.
Yeah.
The next 3 months is actually hip hop, and maybe the last 3 months is something else. Like, and
Yeah.
then keep it like that. I mean, that'd be that'd be more efficient.
Yeah.
I would say because then people can now focus in on. Like, okay, I see like what they did with this, and this is what, because we can't keep accepting crumbs, because that's what we're actually allowing ourselves to do. It's like, oh, we deserve one just big platform for everybody just come and just we competing with the same shit. Like, we don't know how to
Yeah.
compete. We shouldn't be competing with it. We're
Yeah.
not in the same we can. We also have we should be able to have our own boats. Like, I don't want to be. I always got I want to drive the boat sometimes too. Like
yeah, and that's like the
takes-
the listener can create that for themselves. Like you and
Yeah.
I can hop on Spotify, we can make our playlist, but it's just how many stations are curating these and grouping things like this. So the listener doesn't have to, because somebody that's new to it, they're not going to know. Like you and I, like, so if somebody said like, oh, I want West Coast rap, you and I could think of 5-10 artists that would fit that category and put something together. But like if someone's new to this, doesn't know where to start, I think someone or somewhere, something that's curating these lanes and dictating that back out. Like if you want to be like if you're trying to listen to the radio, they're going to feed you Cardi B, and it's like that doesn't necessarily speak for hip hop as a whole, but that's largely what you're going to get there. But yeah,
And sometimes it's crazy. People like I had to hurt. Like there's I feel like there's like two sides of the coin with things, because I know like somebody once told me like, yeah, listen to the radio too, like to see how what was actually a hit song on the radio, because and then people say, are you selling yourself short? No, it's no the business, maybe the business, and maybe like just opening yourself to like just getting a sense of what it sounds like, and you're like, okay, I see what they're doing, how that sounds. But even the other day I was listening to Kiss 98.5, and I was like jamming to these songs. Like these are actually positive songs. Like it was like so I'm like I had to I had to like just look one up, because I'm like this is not all bad. It's
right.
But what I'm saying is, but it's a cycle, the same stuff. I don't like that. Buffalo's so behind with things. So first of all, like we know that's another thing people are gonna realize when you start traveling outside of Buffalo, like this is Buffalo's people. Like we just accepting the bullshit too. Like we've been fighting for venues for how long? Like, we get into the and it's like, but it is what it is.
Man,
but
if I had a bag and it was like, you got this expendable money, what do you want to do with it? I would build this city like the most elite performance complex, and I would, hand me the book, let me book out these shows. Like I would love to do that.
Yeah.
I think we definitely need that.
Right.
I don't know what type of return it would see. I don't know that there's enough audience to support it, because if there was, they probably would already have that. But yeah, I would love to be able to do that.
Sometimes people do like I know, like right now, I'm just like I saw like Ballistic Man, right? He's bringing Fat Joe, and I'm sure it cost him mad money.
Sure,
but
yeah.
He had to take that risk to just aside do this, and this is the way you're gonna put the bag into it, and just try to make it the best experience.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's crazy. Like, everybody has, it's good. I like people that like everybody has. In Buffalo, you're creating your own table. That's the thing about opportunity that's happening now. You guys just accept your role, and also build it to a good team, man. Build the people that you need to build
100%.
around you to have that actually really support that and actually you guys feed it to each other, and it's like it's limitless, bro. Like you said, if you want to relocate and do that, that's because you have a vision, and it's like what comes with that, and especially with YouTube and how that works. Like in that pocket is that's still a part of who you are, and that's also better, maybe a more chill spot for you that you can, it's more personal, it's more like So I commend you, bro, because a lot of people don't ever evolve into that. That's another thing too. Like, they just accept the same self because that's whatever. But like, I don't know, like there's so much more, man. Like, and if you got personality, sell that. If you got like in a good way, because people, that's why they look in a good way, because they know that's that it brings them life. Like, continue to be that. Saying whatever that we got the gift, man.
The more I've found, through trial and error and just growing older, like the more DIY you can get, the more you can win. And like you said, the better and more supportive team and assigning roles and lanes to people, the bigger you can get, because you look at the people that have quote unquote made it from Buffalo, or at least made a sustainable living. They've done it themselves, and there comes a time when you have to realize, like, because when I first started, and granted the industry has evolved, because you're talking 15 years ago at this point, but it's like, just like the vision was just, I hope quote unquote, like whatever this means, I hope somebody signs me. Right. And it's like, the more like I evolved, it's like, what does that even mean? You know what I mean? And it's like, does that mean they just give me a loan and I pay it back? Like, what exactly does that mean? And it's like, now we're at a point where the reality is, like, the more you've helped yourself, the more likely it is that you will get signed. So it's like, you need to just build and operate like that's never going to happen. And the more you do that, the more attractive it becomes, because then when somebody does want to put money behind you, they can see that you come with a built-in audience, that you've built and established yourself. They can see you've done all these things by yourself. So they're just, no one wants to just take your word for it. Like, I can do these things, I've just never done them. So it's like, well, why wouldn't you have?
Right.
But not only that, but it's like, and now like the independent game can be not necessarily is for everybody, but it can be equal to or as profitable as being signed to, so to speak, like a major label, or having some major funding behind you. So yeah, I think just kind of independent is in a lot of cases the space that a lot of people find success.
Right. You gotta trust, you gotta trust, the people around you, man. Like, you gotta. I'm not saying, like, DMX said this. He said, you can't be, people used to think it was okay to, like, he's like, why be fearful? Like, DMX was like always at, I learned from so much from the culture. You learn from, like, the exchange of the information, because you knew it was like in a good space of, like, why they are who they are, and as a fan of music, that's what people, they want to, like, that's important. Like, a fan of anything you're doing, just be authentic in yourself, but like, I don't know, man, that definitely is some good stuff, man. It's some pretty some solid stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
right on, brother.
I did want to say something though. Like, what you about you said about the best experience, and about like when I first remember about hip hop, and when I was again in Plattsburgh, we used to dance. I was probably maybe like 4 or 5 years old, maybe like 5.
Yeah.
And maybe like if I was 5 years old. And we used to, my cousins, we used to dance in a circle till my brother's dad came out with the song, "You got to live and learn." Okay. So we used to listen to this for hours. And he was just jumping in a circle like this the whole time. But the thing that it created the most, the thing that hit me the most about even at that time that I remember was that I was like, and it reminded me, it showed me that this is all possible. Like,
right.
And remember them. I remember that process too of them chasing after that one more hit, and one kind of came, but then it wasn't the main hit. And I remember because that was part of the people. The city was like, oh man, like this is big, like for Buffalo, But it's all that, man. It's like, so like but I've always be grateful for that experience because I remember just being like, just having like being the lit, like my friend would say, the lit cousins, like just just jumping up, we just the whole hours are just in a joint, like you know what I mean, like and like I don't know, it's just like cool. And and this is fun, man. That was one of the first, because that was hip hop, and there was a positive message behind that, as well. So that also created the space of like, to be honest and truthful, because if nothing wrong with people will tell you positivity is not the way to do it. Oh, you gotta do it this way, because what sells is like, people I have conversations with people I have to cut off, be like, yo, like that's not what it is. Like for me, like I can't attach myself to nothing like that right now. I'm in a sense of, because I just want to become better at it, like in a way of like relationships are so important, and just like and just and just walking into the room as you and just like, but that takes work to be confident enough in that space, as well, and just that and one thing I can say is that like it always comes back as full circle too, hip hop is just like it comes back in full circle, in different ways, so. Like, but the Renee song, when I remember that Renee dropped that Renee song, I met a girl named Renee. I had a girl I used to talk to, but I used to rap that song to her, and she didn't know it. She was a little white girl. She was a funny little girl, like little funny little chick. I used to rap her, like I met a girl named Renee at the show. I used to walk in the street with her, start rapping. I used to do and then she was like, I don't know what I did that for mad long for the summer, like you know what I mean, like that, and that really, because it was, as a kid, you're like. The thing about this now is their kids are so accessible to everything. They're so exposed to so much. Before, as a kid, you could be a kid still in that way. Like, like you could do that and have fun. Like, you're outside, man. Like, with now it's different. So it's like, you don't know what you're meeting. Like, it's like, and you got to be careful what these kids are on, man, because they'll be on some these games and be some weirdos on that joint. Like,
absolutely, man.
And it's,
weirdos everywhere.
So like, all over, So like, but I'm just, that's what I'm saying. You can't live fearful, man. Like, at the end of the day, you got to pray on it,
It's tough, man. It's tough to not live fearful, because there's definitely an awareness to the reality that the real evil does exist and is out to get some people. You see the story, like if you were looking for it, you could find it every minute of every day somewhere in the world. There's some evil shit going on, but at the same time, like you said, you don't want to live a fearful life and block all your blessings and this and that because there's bad. Like you have to, to a degree, believe the good will outweigh the bad. And
course.
Yeah, so it is a toss up though, like having a 9-year-old girl and deciding what you can and can't do.
Right.
It's a balancing act between fearfulness and responsiveness to shit you see.
But what you do though, and I think you do this very well, is you show up. It's a man is handling his responsibilities, and as long as you handle your responsibilities in that sense, and you prioritize those things, because sometimes we don't have that direction. We just thinking we know. I think sometimes you got to be like, if you live more godly, that in a sense you prioritize things. You're patient. You're having these things to you that because you're more self-aware of like even how you respond. Like I'm learning to like. You got to breathe. You got to really do breathing exercises for yourself. Because especially with having girls, like you got to be like, I can't be yelling at you, making you feel like, hey, look at this shit. I told you to sit down. Like, okay, we can't do that. Listen, I'm sorry, guys. Like, like I don't want to be first of all, I don't want to keep apologizing to them. So to do it, you actually take action and actually go out there and and actually do that and actually bring them into these spaces and have that one-on-one with them. My space has been good, really good lately, just because like just been good, man. Like I've been just like around. I've been just around my family a lot, like and that's why I've actually completely, like you talk about cutting off things. You got to completely cut things off if you want advancement. Same thing with the team I'm around right now. Whoever's moving with you, you gotta invest into that. You can't keep being because people will just drain like you in every way if you allow. You can't be too nice, man, and because it really doesn't it doesn't work out. Like what I mean. So all that stuff we talk about is important. That's why what I say is to say like it's opportunity. That's why that gives every day we get up, it's opportunity in that. Now you can make the choice in those hours to become better. Like you got my man said this to me, 18 hours out of 24 hours a day. You got what are you doing at that time, and how are you applying yourself? Because there's opportunity. If you really want to change, you will change. Like you will get tired of the old, bro. Like this is what it is. Like that's what I'm saying. You having kids, that even pushes it even further out. Like and then you see how they respond to it, and they seeing you at your best self. Like it's a beautiful place, bro. Like, and it's a fight.
Sure.
That's worth the fight, because it's like, yo, like, and I'm gonna be more patient and experience things together. Like, you know, because there are moments they don't ever, especially if it's something they enjoy as well. If you guys enjoy it together, you gotta go, like, even maybe a bike ride, like, you know. And if you can't ignore that type of time, and especially if it hits you in the time where you're like, I feel like I should just go in for a bike ride and do this, that, and if you gotta do it, bro, because God's telling you to get up and get off the couch, like, you know, go out there and, you know, crack some homers, throw whatever it is, you know, go out there and throw bubbles, maybe get a kite. I don't know what time it is, but we gotta get something. Let's go, like
something outside,
especially with the
right?
summers, bro. Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like,
you
know, we doing the right thing, bro. I commend you. I can tell, you know, like, you know, it's just hard work, man. It's just,
I try,
you know,
man. Right? I'm not perfect, but I find like you mentioned in there, you know, sometimes you might slip up, you might get more angry than you'd like, but you mentioned, like, you can't be like yelling at them, like, you know, like you would like a man, or, you know, even like a teenage boy or whatever. But what I found, like, it's gonna happen, right? Like, I'm not gonna be perfect, I'm not gonna pretend to be, but it's like there's times when I like uncharacteristically get mad about something or talk away I shouldn't, and it's like, what I found is approaching her, you know, a couple hours later before bed, whatever it may be, and just having that conversation. Like, I'm sorry that happened. I don't want to talk to you that way. Not that it's an excuse, but here's the state I was in. I was, you know, whatever. Maybe I was tired. I was angry over this and that. But I found communicating that and letting her know, like, it builds a trust.
Yeah, man.
It builds an understanding, and it builds a maturity in them that, like, oh, like, because to a kid, like, you see an adult, like, I know when I was a kid, I just thought, you know, adults had 100% info on everything that was going on.
Every day, right.
No one has any clue.
Right.
But I found,
that's
like, just
hilarious.
Being able to humble yourself and talk to them like a peer. Like, I shouldn't have done that. Here's what I did wrong. I'm not excusing it. I shouldn't happen, but this was what was going on in my world. And then you get that, like, Daddy, I'm sorry. Like, I understand.
That's
like,
good money, man.
But then they understand, and, like, there's been times, like, where she could see I'm in that mind space. She'd be like, Dad, what's wrong? I can tell something's bugging
so
you.
Cool.
And it's like,
something
actually is,
bro. Right. And that's because you actually take this time, you know what I mean? And that is, like, you know, golden, because when you see this sign, because, you know, we see it, you know, especially when we are, like, you know, you want to make a change, you see it, like, in every way. You see it in yourself. You gotta, like, you know, but the inward work is real, like, you know. You know, that's why, and I think you can, you know, I know that you're a good person, but, like, the conversation I can hear that you really separate yourself from the room to make sure she was still good. You didn't ignore that, because then if you do, then something happens. You're like, that was your fault as a parent for not letting her know. But people don't think like that, because they're a little more, say, selfish level of things. Maybe it's kind of crazy. Like, I think that's a more thing that we see more often, is a selfishness. You know, and be honest. Honesty is key too, man. To be able to, like, again, ground yourself and be like, yo, when I make mistakes, it's good to be a man and say that. Any kind of person of character to say, like, listen, I was wrong for that, and like, you know, like, and this is what you know, this is what's going on, and
it sets the example for her to be able to do that.
100%. And that and then that's what I'm saying. It's like that in itself has her treating other people better. Are just by having that exchange, you know, empathy.
A sense of empathy,
right?
You
know, like, man, it's been backwards, bro. That's stuff people get, but this has to happen. It sucks that things life has to, but it's backwards, but it has to happen. Like, the internet's crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if this should just shut off. Like, I'm not gonna hold you. Like, I've seen things happening. But this is gonna shut off. We're gonna be like, we're gonna be really in the movie. Like, things is twisted and stuff. Keep acting. Also being, like, I don't know, man, just like, just, you don't have to attach yourself to no relationship. Like, everybody's quick to jump into next relationships and stuff. Like, you need the work on yourself, like, more 100%. Than ever, especially now with all this energy and what's actually happening. Just be, you know, like, you know, and you don't need that, like, exchange if it's, you know, if it comes with, like, if I don't belong in a room, and also be knowing a room, like, that's a big part. You know, a room when you're actually be able to walk, you know, when you're, like, just like how you have these conversations with yourself and have, like, be, I don't know, man, just, like, be, like, you're self-aware and just, like, not so, like
I can feel
you know
it.
What I mean,
if I'm in a room and it's not right. It's like my
intuition too.
It's almost like it's almost like I shut down. It's like there's nothing for me to gain from this conversation, and also, like, I can tell they're not aligned with my alignment. I want these certain things. I believe these certain things. They're not on that page, and I'm not saying that makes them bad people. I'm saying I can feel that we don't match. So I really have nothing to contribute. I got nothing to take away. So this room ain't for me. But yeah, just being overall sense of awareness, and, you know, the more self-aware you become, the more you can identify that. And it's like, all right, well, then moving forward, I learned this room wasn't for me. they invited me back to this room hypothetically 3 weeks from now. Like, I don't need to do that again.
Right.
You know.
And that's the thing. We don't got. I feel like we don't have. I'm not experiencing that. Like because sometimes what we do is I've noticed this is obsessive behavior too. Like we always see the signs, right, Paul? Let's be real.
Yeah.
We see the signs, and we're like, that's not it. Like I'm like, if you said you gotta be able to accept that's not it. Like
right.
Because I remember when I was like, and I was with my ex, right? I was with my girl, or whatever, and I was like maybe like 24, 25, a little, the guys were. That they were like 3 or 4 years older than me when I was in high school,
Yeah.
I saw them parked, like they were parked, and I'm with my girl. I'm with or maybe I'm with her and her friends or whatever what it was, but maybe it's like I don't know what it was, but I see them, and it was like there was just like I'm like I was like, they're 4 years older than me, and they're like, yo, what's up? Like, like trying to chase. They looking at girls, like trying to talk to them, like, yo, what's up, baby? Like, what's up, mom? And they're like looking, like, I don't know. I was like, I'm glad I'm at the corner, like at 30, like not saying like nothing wrong with that, but I don't want to be wasting my money and time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna be like, yo,
I don't want to be that. Yeah, I don't want to be that. Can be as powerful as I do want to be that, because just puts into perspective. Like, all right, what do I got to do to not become that? Yeah,
and it's being complacent and comfortable. And evolving and so what I mean, it's so much, like, don't short yourself, man. Like, if I think sometimes also is when you wake up and how you speak to yourself, and just the energy you put into the world. At first you should, sometimes I'll be like, I might not always say a prayer when I wake up, but I always say, I'll say more prayers. I pray for other people. Like, somebody's going through something, I actually take the time and say that, like, and just because actually I'm learning that's a good alignment, because you're actually more closer, in alignment. You're able to be that, and that's the most important thing is to be like the light to and have things and have an open heart to just that, because a tainted heart comes from all these distractions, bro, that everybody's allowing themselves, and that's what's happening. That's why you see like this half the world is blind and half the world is muted, bro. Like every exchange that should already show you like, wow, you gotta work harder to and we've been so blessed though too. We've been blessed beyond our belief, and we think it's gonna keep happening.
Try to remind myself of that,
it's gonna keep happening, bro. Like we gotta just understand that's what's keep happening. Like that the clouds. Like
I felt like that last week. I was like, I feel like I need more, and it's like, yo, humble yourself. So, like a lot of people would kill to have what you have, right,
bro? 100%. And take yourself like I'm learning like now when I go to certain places, I gotta treat myself like a business. I'm not just a rapper right now, so I gotta I gotta turn this switch on and make sure I'm actually in my bag in this one, because this is actually what I've been putting work in years and blood, sweat, and tears, and of course the experience of it all does matter, and just also like actually doing it because you care for every people around you, and sometimes we give a little much than we can, we give, but at the end of the day we start like also knowing who you can. It's about who you give to. That's when you become like more like, okay, I see how this is, like, and then you stay in that pocket of things, and with that actually where that energy and space belongs, then you're gonna be all right. That's living in a sense of, I feel like that's living through more God and being grounded and just living more in tune with your spirit, because the flesh is a thing too, man. Like if you allow it to be, and but at the end of the day we have to be, we got balance is key, man. Like to be, just and we all learn every day, bro. That's why that's the joy in this life, man. Another day above ground is to have the time to actually opportunity to be that, and that we don't even we fail to realize that these other countries don't. They're family oriented. They're so close, and they're not so people are so spoiled here, and it's like dude, like people
you take it for granted what it's all you've ever seen, right?
I love that it shows you again that there's more to life. There's more to just and bro, like nothing's promised, man. Like be grateful for just to have one person that cares for you is huge compared to like not having or having people that actually like we and it, just I don't know, accepting who you are and just. I don't know, man. It's another day is a good day, bro. Regardless of whatever happens, and you put positivity into things, and you have to surround yourself with it as well. Like I think you do this as well. But how one of the greatest things that I learned to do, like you said, kind of like as a kid, and that's why you never forget that part of being what a child actually. I'm not saying child is, but somebody that's trying to become like never having that side of you that duality of things in all nature, like because this is what it is. It's like yin and yang every time. You can't, because I learned I'm a very positive person, right? Thinking, but so you're like, when things hit, you're like, no, it's okay, and they keep hitting like, nah, like
it challenges your spirit.
Yeah, you gotta challenge you, like, and but that's the thing about it is God always, you gotta trust in God, man, and trust in that, and like everything is gonna work itself out, especially when you start doing positive things. So now it's more about like how you just soak in your stuff. Don't run from it. Don't soak in it, bro. Like, and just sit out there and be like, okay, what is it that I need to, and actually I'll be like, yo, God, tell me what I need to do. Say that more often, and that's what you're gonna get. Exactly what you're gonna every time. Same like anything else. Yeah. If you want, I want a girl with a big booty, and I'm knocking at 10 doors. I'm landing one, and damn. But now the choice is: do I go in there or do I not?
Yeah.
I'm gonna expect. I do not want to go in there, but I'm a flirt. So I'm like, damn, I gotta. But I'm like, no, that's not it. Not gonna put my energy. But even noticing that I can't put my energy into the slightest bit of that because I got my whole time frame, my whole life thing is different right now. Like, right. So like, and I got an opportunity to do some things that I never did before. So that time is always wasted time. Like, but I do like, I know my person. I like to have a back, like a good looking somebody. I like to, I want one that was just one. Who doesn't like? And just like, but I'm like, be patient, bro. Like, don't, I mean, everybody doesn't, you don't know their people's intentions. Like, don't exchange. Like, it's okay, bro. Chill. And actually, what you have is actually good right now. So like, just take care of yourself, bro. Like, it's the time for you to take care of yourself, and that's an important part of life. I think God shows us like what we need to really do, and you gotta really just educate yourself on it, and really working towards the things you need to work on to make them, to be better, in every way, man. Your happiness, like what I'm saying is that don't ever, like surround yourself with the positive stuff. If you know that it's a plant you need in the house, and if somebody's telling you to get a plant in the house, then you gotta get a plant. Because it's gonna always drop. That's what happens. What that is when you're being good, dropping jewels from the skies, and the exchange of energy is gonna come through a person and be like, tell you that one thing you need to hear. Just to be like, when I was in New York City, I know the guy probably looked in my eyes. He was like, he's going through something. All he had to say was, he's like, God is good. He was. You could tell they were cracking jokes and shit. Like, niggas was laughing about all types of shit. Like, New York City's different. You're exchanging everybody from all over the world. So like, but all he looked at me and said was, "God is good." I'm like, well, you're right. I'm like, yeah, let me sharpen up. Like, let me get my shit together. What am I worried about? Like, even the slightest bit, and just I don't know, man. It was just really cool. And then I don't know, man. Just like I don't know, man. Just life is not as people just. I don't know, man. Just don't get. Like, life is good, man. Like, it's
enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the ride, right?
Yeah,
it comes with ups and downs all the time. It's just how you react to it, and also not like falling off character. Like staying true to that pocket of always. Like, and which like, and it's just like it takes a self-discipline. It takes a focus. It takes again, like just like kind of a chillness and not like force. Like, you don't gotta. What I mean? Like. And it also, if you need help, get the help you need, like in every way of life, what I mean? So, but, I'm just talking.
A lot of game there. No, a lot of game there, a lot of gems there. I'm going to take you back to the music tip here.
Yeah, let's get it.
I've featured you 2 times now on my catalog, Paul Athoe Records.
Come on.
The first, probably recorded in 2014, released in 2015 off my Patience album, song called The Blues. You remember this joint?
Yeah.
Where, I can't remember, where did you record your verse at? Was it at Lou's, or was it somewhere else?
It was at Lou's closet, I think.
Yeah.
Right? 'Cause he had the, yeah, it was like.
Don't sleep. Hold on. Pause. Don't sleep on the closet. It was soundproof. Had a light. Had the high quality mic. So it was a good setup. It was a closet, but it was.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah. It was an industry standard setup.
Yeah, he knew exactly what he was doing.
When picking where to slot you on that album, you only had a song or 2 out at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember that you were more conscious than the average. It was more or less your identity, actually. that type of sound. As soon as I played that blues record back, I heard you pull in, reflecting the Martin's vision has got me lifted. I was thinking, this kid's different. This is what I wanted. Do you remember at all the original ask and me sending you that record? And I guess just what were your first thoughts on getting that or hearing that?
Yeah, man, I was like, because I'm new. I'm so new. Like, I feel like new. To the music scene.
Sure.
It was probably my first year or so, or really kind of in the whatever. Like, I remember that part. But the funness was that I knew you before the music, and that was kind of cool because I'm like, it was fun, bro.
Yeah.
It was that's it always is a good challenge to say to an artist. Always, you gotta make sure you have fun. Like, and you hit me with that. I'm like, man, this is so soulful. I'm like, I love soulful music,
Yeah.
and it just gave me a space to be able to say what I had to say, and I didn't know I had that in, like, you know, sometimes you don't realize you had that in you.
Yeah.
But that's what it does if you
To bring that out of somebody, you know, to bring that out of someone as talented as you are, that's incredible, and that's like a feature done in the best way possible. Like, if I could feed you something that fits you, you add like this incredible artistry to it, where you deliver. But also for you, it opens up, you know, your pen game. Unless you do what you love to do, and it's like a space you're like, oh, I can do this.
Right.
That's like the most ideal way a feature could go down. And then the other record I featured you on is from my most recent EP, The Great Disruptor. This podcast is named after it. A song called Oceania. Now that title is based on a totalitarian state from the book 1984 by George Orwell. How do you feel about politically charged lyrics in music? Do you feel like it could divide your audience in half? Are you cautious of what you say? Do you believe in doing it? I guess do you stay away from it? I guess just what are your overall thoughts of having? Because sure, we make you know, you and I both tend to make like more true to life lyrics than probably most, but like, what's your overall take on being politically charged in your content?
You know, man, it's a good question. It's like political. Like, I don't really talk about politics a crazy amount.
Right.
That's naturally just me, though. I don't put it against nobody to not do that. You know,
Sure.
if it's, you know, if that's, you know, like what you like, because some people really like to be into that political space of like you know, whatever it is, like, you know, like, but at the end of the day, like, I also think about political stuff, like how Michael Jackson, his approach to music was, and how what he said his message was, and how he delivered his message. Because sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yeah.
You know, he was saying some crazy messages behind.
I mean, he was. You know, it was less political. It was more. I'm for the world and peace and unity, not party A versus party B.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't care about us. That right there, and every like hit the nail in the coffin for that was like, they don't care about us, and then look around and be like, where is this country going to? Like, I mean, in the sense of like even compassion.
Yeah.
And actually understanding like how we're like, you know, the fact is, even biblically, I don't know much about the Bible, Liz. I'm gonna start like, you know, reading. I'm reading it more, but like, you know, like, oh, they say the cycle always repeats itself. But biblically, the one of the main, you know, if falls, the whole empire falls, like, you know, it's like that type of thing, right?
Yeah.
It usually happens when the empire that falls is the ones like, oh yeah, like, we're taking advantage of people, poisoning them, like thinking this is like, you know, like this is like everything is like off the, you know, whatever. But taking, I mean, but at the end of the day, it's like, care for the people though, like care for the people, because and that's why it sucks that these older people that have to stay at work because they have to pay insurance. It's ridiculous. They're 78 years old. Only reason why they're working is because they need the insurance. That's crazy as hell to me. Like, or you know, and or just like a child that lives, you know, 10 miles down the road has a whole different, you know, it's like man, give kids opportunity, man. Like, that's what it's about. We're every like 5 to 10 years, we're taking more away from that, and we're putting it into a whole bunch of things. So like, in the level of like. And then also now, that's why you talk about it. Like, some of these kids, you'd be like, "Yo, is there ways we can homeschool more?" Because this is the type of questions you have. Because it's, you know, our at the end of the day, we actually have in New York State, we actually have a really good, and where we are, we have a pretty good school system compared to like going to West Coast. And you're like, "Yo, what? These kids are out here fucking blazing at like they're like 9 years old." Like, you see, they're like, I'm hearing these stories like, "They do what?" They're like, "Yeah, we don't go to that school. We pay for the one to go down on the street over here." And, but to have that, a good thing to have the luxury to have the money to do that, you know.
Bro, my daughter is supposed to start homeschooling starting in September.
What?
Yeah.
What?
So
that would surprise me none.
I think
that's amazing, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I think you mentioned this, you know, about the work stuff.
Wow.
I would say there's not one single thing right now that I feel more struggle and confrontation with than the idea of work all week, all your life, to get to the end where you're too old to now live your life. And it's like it comes down to myself and ourselves to free ourselves though. Because there are people who have started their own businesses that they're passionate about and they want to do every day. That's where I need to get. I understand you need to have money to live. I understand that. I don't expect a handout, but creating money myself, doing things I'm passionate about, I have to get there.
Right.
Because
especially overnight when you're asleep.
Yeah, because I'm just I disagree wholeheartedly with the idea of traditional employment.
Yeah.
And there's ways other countries do it where it's 4-day work weeks. But just the way we do it,
setup is wild, bro. It's just, like it's backwards again. It keeps you like just like you think this is the right way. It's always telling you like this is the only way you can. This is how you should be living your life.
Yeah.
And this is like you gotta again like he's 100% nailing it, bro. Like it's it's like bro like that's not the end. We gotta stop having attachment to so much. I don't know. And so I'm grateful that we actually are in a space that we have the option, because some people sacrifice a lot for us to even be here like this, like to be able to change the tide of things, or even have an opportunity to be around the sound waves of an impact of what it actually will have if you're true to your art, if you're true to yourself, if you surround yourself with be a good that matters beyond Shaq said this other day, and that's why I look at this dude like he's a legend to me, because he's a good person. You know what I mean? But that's the type of I feel like that's what we kind of have. We have a place for people that they know that they can trust us, and that they actually have good intention. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. With this, but Shaq said the other day, he said, what does it matter to have the best podcast? What does it matter to be the best NBA player? What does it matter to be it's like, are you a good person? Are you helping your family? Are you? Is that what you're doing? Because all that is that we think that is that's secondary, bro. All that shit is secondary. And people be trying to think
there's so many levels to the consciousness. There's so many people. It ties into a level of programming, but there's so many people that have just accepted, go to school till I'm 22, get my receipt to pay them back, then go to work till I'm 65, cash out my little egg, and then die. And there's people that don't even question it. They just accept this is what it is. So when I say disruptor and why I love to run with it so much is because it's very much where I'm at. Absolutely.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate you, bro.
Hopefully the lighter's over there. Okay. But yeah, man, when I say disruptor, I mean disrupt the education system that hasn't changed since the 1800s. Disrupt this idea of employment that is just, modern day programming. I'll leave you enough time to eat and then go to sleep, but come right back. And it's my soul, and it's not even I'm doing it to be anti. I'm doing it because my soul objects. This is not how you were built to live. This is not where you're supposed to be. So I think for now, finding the balance in like I said, something has to pay the bills, right? And don't get me wrong, my job has afforded me everything I have, from my house to my car to etc. So I do have a sense of gratitude for that, because I wouldn't have them without it. But at the same time, it's this podcast, for example, our music, for example, it's I need to be building these to one day replace that. Right. And as long as I know I'm at least planting the seeds to someday escape, then I can at least have that sliver of happiness in there, where it's at least I'm trying to escape. What takes off and when and how soon to be determined, but it's I can't just not have something in the background that I'm harvesting to one day replace that, or not even trying to. Right. Because that is when I've reached my personal lowest states. It's just when it's work, sleep, repeat. That's it. I just can't. Like I said, my soul violently objects to that. Right. I will make a stink to the point where you got to fire me because I'm being too vocal about it. But I can't jive with it, and I find it crazy that people can, and there are people, and there are a lot of times the group I just talked about, the group that's sleepwalking, that's not even aware of their self, or there's people that they don't want to talk to people, they don't want to be seen, they don't want to be on a platform where everybody's watching them, they're too self-conscious. So there are lanes for employees. Right. But I'm very much not one of them. Yeah. And that's really my biggest struggle with the world and the culture right now is what are we really doing? Right. And why? Because the reality is Kennedy gets assassinated and there's a president tomorrow. 100%. You think my little job matters in the
Right.
grand scheme of things. You think they care? They don't actually care about me as a human being, and I'm not shading any company. I'm just saying I'm just
Right.
a cog in the
100%.
wheel. Like I go down.
Right.
Who's next up?
Oh, well.
Tomorrow, not maybe the next hour. Like,
Yeah.
who's the next guy at bat?
Who's filling in for the shift tomorrow?
Right, that's it, and that's
And
it.
it sucks to say. It sucks that it's like that. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I say good. That's why it's cool that people are living like I work around with a lot of females and they're older ladies and they're like
Sure.
they're actually like around. Like,
When you call them ladies, they're older for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise, you call them women. I'm around ladies a lot.
Man, I'm bro. Like, man, it's cool though because I learned so much. You know, you learn to like be just in that space. They really enjoy me just as much as I enjoy them. You
Right.
know, like because I also like
That's great.
I'm not I treat them with respect. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
So like but it's funny how they go. Like they all have their it's when they get old and cranky. They be like, "Why? Who touched my chair?"
Right.
I'm like, I'm just sitting there like,
See,
it's morning time.
That's where I struggle. So I try not,
Yeah.
as bitter as I am, I try not to carry myself that
Yeah.
way. I try not to
No
go to
matter
work
what.
and be that guy. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Even though I feel that way,
Yeah,
it's like you gotta. It's like playing like a video game or a game or
That's a
something.
good
It's
way
like
to
you
put
gotta
it. It
like
is a game.
trick
It is a
yourself.
game.
Yeah. You gotta just like
100%.
do your 8 hours. Check the
Yeah.
box. Get the fuck out of here.
Ching, ching, there you go.
Get the
Oh.
fuck out of here. You know. But yeah,
It's
bro.
wild, man.
Would you? So I think there's two different types of artists, or there's hybrids. Would you say you're more of a, or what do you like more? You like the recording aspect more, or the performing aspect more?
I like the performing aspect more, but
Okay.
but well, I mean, to be honest, the recording is. To be honest, the recording probably is the best. The best, like, to be honest,
It's the best. What?
is about the best between the two. I say that because it challenges me differently,
Right.
And especially like that. I know it requires that work, bro. Like to write your ideas, to write them down, to like everything that comes to mind. If you kind of stay in that pocket, like what I mean, the 10,000 hours is real, bro.
Yeah.
If
Yep.
and it'd be like, and then you just build off that. Like I mean, I say if that's what the but when you give somebody, that's what I'm saying is that it starts there because I don't know, man. I think it starts there. Like, so I like that spot because it's like I'm challenging
there's
myself.
no right or
you know
wrong
what I mean?
answer. It's different for everybody, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So like, but why as a performer, I say it's cool because it's like the know you have that's why it's so important what you say and how you what you do with like your songs and your music and what you create because it's like when people tell you that you give them hope and stuff like that and you do this for them and they're real true people that actually like may not even pop out but they pop out or hit you with some like somebody drove an hour to see you perform,
Right.
like you gotta appreciate that, bro. Like
For sure.
the guy brought it like a T-shirt. Yeah, like he was like we were just took a picture. I don't know where he's at now. I'm like I want to shout him out, but like with just stuff like that was like
That's
and,
awesome.
and then to see people's eyes, the whole room changed. Like that was cool. Like you have the power to everybody's locked in on what you're saying, and sometimes I had to like look at myself like okay, so that's just me writing it on paper, bro. Like that's just me just focusing and knocking in that way. And how am I saying it? And like, and how am I expressing it in a relationship with the song? The song is a relationship. Like
Yeah,
every song
that's
is a
well said,
relationship.
man.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
so, like
It's really well said.
So like
I never heard anybody put it that way.
Yeah, it's like so so like it's just like. I look at we talk about hip hop and what it requires. Like like the reason why Outkast was so damn good because they was in a lab, bro, fucking writing in his hot box, bro. Like they was just writing. Oh, like, the reason why he nigga talking like that, because then he goes like this nigga was just sitting there like after he was doing what he was doing, they knew that what they had to do and they did that shit and they wrote these. And it was their own flavor, it was their own style.
100%.
You know what I mean? Originality is good.
And I firmly believe
in
that. I believe in like. You don't need to be doing what other people are doing. When you see, like, if I see something's number one, I don't try to recreate that.
Right.
Because that already exists.
Right.
I just try to be me and exaggerate what I am. And I feel like if you're good enough, like, the culture will come to you.
100%, yeah.
Yeah. Just be put the accountability on you.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm as good as I think I am, then whatever style I do will work.
Invest into you, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and you can't be so invested in things that never shake nothing. You know what I mean? Like, and then you got to, so I'm learning the way where I invest my time and energy, money every single step of the way. So like, if it's more of things that actually build your name, your product, that's a big pocket.
Yeah.
Like I can sit there and say I was able to like really make my own brand for a year. People were just like I was selling all types of stuff like for a year. It's like, I was just, because, and people also trusted that. Like, that it came, like, but but that was because like, I don't know, man, that's love, man. It's like real love. Like, and they say that, that's fan base wise, you'll need so much fans to really believe in what you got going. That starts with you, bro. Like, and just like, and what you see for yourself too. Cause there's again, I think God has so much more in store for us, so like, but I know,
dude, I think asking for it, and I don't mean to get go back to this too much, but like I think a lot of the programming wants us anxious, wants us scared, wants us timid. But I think if you want to talk about God, you want to talk about the universe,
right?
If God is everything we're told He is, then why can't I ask for and expect more and more and more? Because if He loves me the way I read, and you tell me He does. He doesn't want me to be some scared, anxious guy.
Right.
He wants me to be all powerful. Right. So I think, honest to God, man, this is something I just started practicing last week. And it's like reconditioning myself to, I can ask for that.
Right.
I can. Like, I don't got to live timid and like humble because, like, I can, and so be it. Like, and if it's right for me, I'll be giving it. If it's not, I'll be giving a lesson, right? But
you are hilarious, bro.
Learning to ask for it.
You're right.
Like
that's big time, man. Big time. That's big.
So you got the shirt on, bro. What is the 1,000 Mile Tour? Break it down.
So, 1,000 Mile Tour is it basically was just like, one thing it happened during like kind of like around COVID a little bit, like all right, so I'm open up completely, right?
Sure.
I'm a type of person that like, I like if I see you have a good attitude, bro, and you love this music and you want to work and you like, and whatever it is, man, like you bring something to the table, like, like I like building with people like that. Like I've been around that for a while, it's, cool, like, so be it. But now what I'm learning is that I'm a person, I like to be a good person of character. It's about like, like people that really look out for each other, like, at the end of the day. So it's a family, man. So like, because it really is just that. Because during COVID, I remember being around, just always trying to read the room with good artists and stuff like that. But these people put in work, man. Like, a lot of people put in work, and it's positive. Right. Like we all want the same thing, bro. When you see that that's what it is as a person, you gotta run with that. If you see like that's the thing right there. Everyone, we all I'm looking at people's eyes and like, what do we do? Like, what do we do next? One of these rocker white guys was like, listen, we gotta go on tour, and we're gonna, and this is how it's gonna go. I'm like, yes. I'm like, that's what we're gonna do, and the thing is, he couldn't make it. So I used to throw a little shade on. I go like, hey, you come follow through like you said, but they was real with it. Like I respect them because they knew they were going a whole bunch of hip hop artists, and that wasn't their lane. They like,
sure. But knowing what's you and what isn't is important.
But that's I like to exchange that, because that's positive exchange.
Yeah.
That's positive stuff. And at the end of the day is like you accept that as well, and just so like always build off of that, because I don't know, just in every way. Like so basically like the relationships. So basically that's where I stem from. So I was like, that was my drive. I was like, okay, I said, what artists? I've been working with all these different artists. Like these guys have their own crowd. Everybody has their own fan base. The reason why I trust these artists the most is because they show up, and they're dedicated, and they actually have they do this for the love of music as well. And I was like, okay, so, but I don't know, man. I almost failed to realize sometimes that they were. Kind of like brought them together. They didn't all mess with each other, Everybody didn't really like mesh, because Buffalo's like that. It has you in a sense of like competing with your
100%.
own. If you don't,
Yep.
But all I'm saying was that everyone had a certain sound, like music. Everyone had their own style.
But that's good for the tour though, because you don't have putting up 4 or 5 acts that are doing the same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. So that was that. So basically 1,000 Mile Tour is an artist and artist, R&B artist. Hip hop artists in a band of music. So like the band.
Does the band play for everybody? Like they stay stationary and everybody uses them, or does it like rotate?
So the band is something I started with like originally, and like they whatever. But so the band comes in like certain types of times. It depends on what type of show it is.
Yeah.
Like when we went down like south. They played for us in like Tampa Bay in Orlando. They played behind us and stuff like that, and that was really cool. Like it was just really cool because we had I don't know, man. It was like, it was just like the experience that.
I've never played with a full band, but I played with
Yeah.
drums. It 100% changes the dynamic instantly.
Right, it's
Yeah.
crazy. Like, I don't know, man. So it's always fun. My mom did it. She plays in a band, so like she still rocks out with her band, But like, I love live music, and now I also like, I like creating my own production too. Like, I like when you have a pianist in the room, and I want to be also a pianist, but but it takes time to develop that. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I want to. These are all just things I would just surround yourself with this type of stuff. Like, I mean, so it was just melting pot of all creators that had all different good styles. Like, this guy could do, he's production level, also good marketing over here. But the one thing, it was just dope because everybody, I was learning from like how they, like my one guy, shout out to my guy Spills, he was like, yo, every exchange he's doing, he's talking about himself, his business, like, or his girl's business at the time. That's all his exchanges, and he's every single person.
Yeah.
You got to be like that as a person, because if you want to take yourself seriously, that's how every exchange you got to be.
Right.
And this is who I am, and people want to hear it, like, okay, you got to do it. Like, it's just what it is. Like, that's the life of an artist.
Yeah.
But like, and so like, that's cool, man. But so the 1,000 Mile Tour was people I trusted that we came together, and we all kind of invested in, and actually did some fundraisers to make some money to
that's
go.
Awesome.
Yeah, and there was it was literally like a movie. Like, it was mad fun, man, because
So is it wrapped, or are you still touring?
No, we're still doing it. Yeah, we're still doing
gotcha.
it. Like, we're going to Ashland this Friday. We're not Ohio this Friday. We're gonna be and then we're at the award show the next day. Perform with the band on Saturday. Some musicians, and then so it's a blend of a lot of things right now. To be honest, but it's been so we're gonna
because at the end of the day, man, that's what you wanted, man.
Yeah, 100%.
If you were to look, if 5 years ago you were to look at like your music career and be like, well, I'm gonna be on tour and hitting this show and this award show. Back to back, like it's a lot, but it's like it's what you wanted,
right,
and
100%.
you manifested that. So being on tour and playing with these acts, you get a pretty good first-hand look at the scene. And I mentioned you're an artist that, like, it's not just like, this is my boy, it's like this, like, actually a talented artist, right? Like, who's your favorite Buffalo artist that you listen to?
Man, I love that question. That's a good question. That's a really good question, man. Like, favorite Buffalo artist. Whew. Man, put me on the spot with this one.
Well, you can throw a few names out there. You don't gotta just pick one.
I'm definitely right. I mean, give me a second here.
Sure.
Jeez, man. And I see you talk about categories. I almost break people into categories too. Like, because. All right, so like my favorite artist that I listen to?
From Buffalo.
Listen to. All right, so
or Western New York, not the city of Buffalo specifically, right?
Yeah, no, I do like my guy Molotov Mall. I like his positive message. He's always like real like his message is always on point. And I've been in a room with him as a creator, and it's like I like the positiveness of his music. Like it's written, so like I like that person because he's push like he's push you as an artist to and he chases different sound waves of himself as well, which I like as well. People that don't limit themselves to certain things, and they what you do is that's what you need to do. That's why in another artist, so it's all about like, so for me, like, so that's an artist I like to listen to. I also like I like Spill 716. That's my guy. Like, I respect this music and just like how we, maybe, it's weird because I'm parties, so it's like, I feel like I'm, like, I'll give the artist, that's the honest truth though. Like, I like listening to these guys. Those two, I do like Vocero Mar. I like his sound. He's different. He's not really, he's from Dunkirk, but he's a good, he's really a good person, like, and his sound is different. I like different music. I like the same stuff, he creates music that is real relatable and makes you think. Like,
relatability
like,
is so important. People are going to gravitate to relatability more so than any genre. Yeah. Got you, man. Those are a few good ones. You stay in the space, as we could hear talking to you today. Positivity, togetherness, support. These all seem to be a huge identity, not only to you as a person, but as an artist as well. Where do you think this comes from, and why do you think you choose to carry yourself that way?
The positive is good because it's just, why wouldn't I? Like, if that's what I'm actually good at, just as at the end of the day, like, a positive people, like, just accept your place, and I think it's just, it's a good place to be. And I don't know, I'm learning to be patient with myself as well. Positivity comes, I feel like, with, again, like it's also about how you respond. I think how you respond, and even so I was to talk about the 18 out of the 24 hours a day thing.
Yeah.
It's like, you can have those pockets where you're like, an hour goes like, oh, did I really respond the best way? No, you didn't. Like, okay,
Right,
so tighten up, bro. Like, and that's like that type of I think, like you said, when it comes to consciousness, is what we strive for. You won't go wrong, but talk to yourself like with that type of energy, speak into existence. Maybe it's that one jewel that you like, that one little, you need to maybe educate yourself over here. Be it, allow yourself to, and that's what it's about, man. It's like, because that's what comes with that is worth it. Like, that's worthwhile,
Yeah.
But don't stop. I'm hearing these, no matter what it is, bro. If it's you, don't stop, bro.
Right.
Keep it going, because you know what I mean. It's like, and because it does come and go if you allow it to.
Yeah.
But like, at the end of the day, like, just but it's just, man, we just do it. Stay there, but create, bro. Like, get in the spaces you need to be in. Just and you can do. Sometimes you don't. I don't know, man. Like, even just learning something, like, like learning how to do auto engineering and just recording yourself, and how important that could be for you. As in, when you're traveling now, you're actually recording on the road. And to be in that pocket of things, it has to be the level we do. Like, we have to be like, okay, what are we creating? Because this is a whole different atmosphere. I would love to create.
It's probably inspiring too,
it's
right?
Inspiring,
there's only so much juice you can suck out of from being at home and being with the kids and the family all day, like, and then trying to transition that to a track.
Yeah,
but
man.
like touring, hearing the band play, seeing other acts play, being on the road, seeing the world.
Right.
I'm sure that's stirs up some juices that otherwise weren't there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice, bro. So the positivity. There comes a time when you have to give a truth,
mm-hmm.
and it might not be a positive truth. And I don't mean that it's ugly. I mean, like, when I'm talking music specifically, like, someone plays you something, or you send somebody a feature to do, and you get it back and it's whack. But it's real. There's times when this shit happens, and I feel like people sleep on this point. And the point is, giving somebody truth, although it could be hurtful per se, is more beneficial to that person than telling them what they want to hear, and is going to serve them more. Yeah. Than just nodding along, oh, it's dope, and in your head you're like, that's so ass. Like, but really giving them that truth, like, although it could be like offensive, like, not only giving it, but then being able to take it. Like, if it's true, it's true, right? So, you don't gotta like name a person or something or nothing, but like, have you ever had to, like, because I know I've gotten features like that I've asked for and they send them back to me, and there's been times where it's just like, yo, I can't use that, and I don't want to use that, but I also don't want to circle back, so it's just like, this is not going to get used, But like, you ever been in a space like that, awkward space where it's like, this ain't it?
Oh, that's funny, man. It's crazy. It's not as often though.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird, like, but there is, because I don't know, man. It's like, I like to listen to. We listen to the people's sounds, like, because people hit like every time. This person is gonna connect.
Yeah.
Especially if something that is like somebody sound that you all both influenced by for some reason, that y'all connect by that. That's gonna be that's gonna work itself out.
Yeah.
So not often, but because I feel like I've been on other, and I know I said some whack shit. They probably was like, I can't have you on this hit track. Like, it looked good try. That definitely was on one, because this dude from Atlanta allowed me to be on the space, and I was rapping like, there's like, yeah, I can't do this. I like, yo, bro, I like him and all, but that's not the way we do it down here. Like, I didn't know it was the floor, But the thing is, when I went to Atlanta, that was it, my spark. I'm like, yo, why are you limiting yourself, bro? Like, as positive as you are, right?
Yeah.
Have fun. You're having fun with this music, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it's about. Yo, I had to have a
one
club.
thing I've noticed, I've been to Atlanta too, and I did a record with somebody there. I've noticed that they have a lot more unity than we do. Mm-hmm. And they fuck with each other a lot more than we do. Yeah. And like just like, for example, like, they do Welcome to Atlanta, and they put 3, 4, or 5 guys on it, whatever. And then however many years later, they did the remix with a new wave of people. Yeah. But like, they got totally different sounds. Like, you got Migos, you got Future, you got like these totally different pockets.
Right.
But they all fuck with each other for the most part, or even if they don't work with each other, it's still like a level of like respect for like, there's a lane there.
Use a lane, yep.
And I don't know if it's like that Atlanta's united and Buffalo isn't. I think it's just a lot of places are, and Buffalo really isn't, to be honest. It is unfortunate of a reality as that may be. Yeah.
That's big time. Somebody said this to me before. They said we are a city in broken chakras, and I don't know how whatever that lands, how you can point it how you want to point it, but
Yeah.
but also what I noticed that which is good with what we have going on is that we actually have a beam on us. Same thing with opportunity comes with that type of, you know, and it's almost how you respond, which is you know, really like if you really want it, yo, bro, it's here for you.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like and just like breaking the barriers, bro, like. And I love that because it's like it's been planted already around us our whole lives, bro. The things that made I noticed what music was. It was music for me when it makes you think that it changes your whole mood and dynamic and in the pod, like, and you're like, yo. And I told myself before, I said I want to make I'm making music, like I'm gonna make a song like that that's gonna make me feel like how I felt. Because if I can do that, I know that I've done my job.
Yeah.
So I have work to do, like, you know what I mean? I still got work to do, bro, like, and just like, and now, but it's in silence. It's gonna be more like, you know, you kind of hit that pocket. We don't have to showcase, you know, there's certain ways, you know, and everything's for everybody. That's where I want to sit, you know what I mean? But when that requires is I'm gonna pop out and do my thing, you know, obviously, you know, but I want to focus on making I want to make some really like some good music and something different, my own sound, and have my own. I already have my own production. I need to make sure like we hit in a room and we're creating. Like, you know what I mean? That has to be the pocket now. You know what I'm saying? It's not, and that's an investment because, and really taking my time in that project because I don't owe it to nobody besides. I used to feel like even with Buffalo, it makes you feel like I'm gonna drop a project. Yeah, I'll drop 5 projects this year. It was word, no one listened to nothing. I'm nothing wrong with that, but I was like,
no,
you gotta
adjust.
You don't gotta be competitive with everybody. That's,
if you shouldn't get if you put 2 out and no one listened, you shouldn't get the 5. You should see I went 0 for 2. Now let me rethink the strategy.
Right. There you go.
Yeah, you know, like it's okay to drop. It's okay to miss, but if you're not evolving,
that's a fact.
Yeah,
it's like a game, bro. Like you said, and you can change that dynamic. You know, sometimes what you got to do is simplify the shit.
Yeah.
Go for a layup. Start inner, bro. Start inner, bro.
Yeah,
every
maybe
time.
it's a single. Maybe it's a single a month instead of an album at once, or you know.
Yeah. Yep.
Or maybe it's more videos, or maybe you know.
How you chop up the video because it's not even about whatever people tell. No, short. Everybody's in shorts mode. You got to chop up. Like you have the game plan has to be like you know, and that's why the team is important because if you have somebody's, you know, you got a good team around you. You got this person telling you to educate you on. This is what's going on right now in today's society, in the world, like, and how the business is working and what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah.
Stop hashtagging things right now. You wait, right, and then you go back and hashtag it, and then there's a science to it. Like there is always a changing type of thing.
Yeah, man, and every wave of posts or content you release, like, again, like you got to step back and do the analytics on it, like what worked, what didn't, and why, right? A couple more questions for you here, and then we'll get you out of here.
Yep.
If you could get a feature from any artist in the world, who would it be?
I would definitely say I'm always gonna say her name wrong, even though she's like my favorite artist. Because me was like, you're saying it wrong. Who are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's Sade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I would want to.
It would be an R&B jam.
Yeah, man.
Or more
just
soulful. On
just
that
like it would be. You know what? If it's not that, then I would like because that's like this. I love her sound, man, and the soulfulness behind it. I don't know what I would say on it, but I know that it would, even if it's a few words, I'll be okay.
Yeah.
Like if it's just a hums, if I go like how Andre came out with that little fucking flute project, then let it be known, like as.
Yeah, that's a good unique answer, man. That's unique to you, bro.
You don't gotta tie nothing to nothing, like, you know, like that's why I say like that. Is Andre, like that was a thing that actually really put me to sleep. And I remember sitting there like, and I was like, when I woke up, I was in a whole different space. Yeah. And I was in a more a positive space, and I was like, wow, like you know, and it just like showed you the wave of it all, like, you know, and just like you know, it takes you there, bro. Like, you know, it's when it's relatable too. Like, you know, like J. Cole is one of, you know how we see him develop as an artist. I know that's why you're probably one of your favorite guys, and he developed crazy. Like, you know, and just like his approach and what he had, you know, whatever, all that. You know what I mean? So, and you know, and then you also think about people like even like Kanye and how what the hell's going on with this nigga? Like I don't know what's going on out here, but I'm good. Like I don't know, bro. Like I don't know. Like but you know, musically, obviously, you know, just like, you know, like musically, I loved R. Kelly. Like R. Kelly musically, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. But like you know, musically, like I'm like
the talent was undeniable, regardless of the story. Man.
Yeah, it's like it's
undeniable,
wild,
right?
You know? So
that's a good answer, man. What would you say your end game is? So your overall vision. Now, like, what does success look like to you? what point is it? Okay, I've made it. This is everything I've ever wanted to do. What is the ultimate, fully leveled up, evolved version of yourself look like in regards to I've checked my boxes?
Man, to say like that I was able to like, really like feed my village, like really, and not just, spiritually, mentally, financially, and just like living within true self, man. And if it requires you to go travel the world and have to handle your business to do so, then you have to do it.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to. It's it's the level up in that sense of not really living in fear, and just and going from there. And if you do that, you can't go wrong. And you just surround yourself with good company. You deserve good things. You deserve
right.
that. And balance is also very, key within where your happiness falls and your true, just that all in one, because you have to take care of yourself. Like for you to be a good father, you got to take care
right.
of yourself, and you got to make sure that because that's, and they you got to show up. A man shows up, bro.
Right.
Show up just like how you show up to your kids, show up to your job, show up to your career, whatever that is you actually want to do those things. Come early, bro. Like, and really, because a role model, it's you got to be around people that's going to push you to be that. And I don't want nothing short of that.
Yeah.
Let's stop asking. We can't ask for the easy route. We're not asking for no easy route. And I just so like God allow me to be what I need to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's it.
Man,
But,
I love that, man. Well, that's it, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. Bro.
Wishing you growing and continued success. Wishing you peace and happiness.
Yeah.
Appreciate you coming through, spending your time with us. Mark Lee, everybody.
Yeah.
Peace.
Let's get it.